Good morning. Happy Victory Day. Today, May 8th, is Victory Day, and in little under 20 hours, they will be celebrating Victory Day in Russia. Today actually is called VE Day by the Europeans, Victory in Europe, Victory Day in Russia, Dien Pobjedy, and there's a lot of music and celebration. And I have written a statement for this, which I would encourage everybody who is watching to circulate far and wide today and tomorrow and into the next week. It is very important to remember what we were fighting in World War II and the importance of that victory. Here is how to find the leaflet I wrote. This is the LaRouche organization website, and you see the top bar where it says actions and leaflets. And if you click on leaflets, you will see, as you see at the bottom of the screen, it says leaflets, and you will come to the statement I wrote. VE Day 2025 Celebration and Rededication. And it begins, congratulations to all who fought the Nazi regime in Europe and won. Congratulations to the courageous soldiers of the Allied powers, American, French, and English. And we must add today congratulations and thanks to the people of the former Soviet Union whose great sacrifice and valor have not been appropriately recognized within the United States, although many American patriots are well aware of your heroism. And I go on to talk about the next victory against fascism, which is occurring in Ukraine, where that war will be brought to an end, whether it is with the involvement of President Donald Trump and others, or it is because Russia marches to the inevitable military victory. Anyone who says Ukraine is going to win that war clearly hasn't looked at a map, doesn't know anything about what's going on there. Now, otherwise, I would like to say that in Russia, there are going to be many heads of state for the celebration, for the parade, which will be tomorrow. And unfortunately, President Donald Trump will not be among them. That would have been an ideal place for leaders to meet and discuss how to resolve the newly exploding crisis between India and Pakistan. But let me just share with you something I think is kind of fun for the British and people who say we're isolating Russia. We are going to look at some of the guests who will be joining with President Putin for the celebration. Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Chinese also lost many millions of people in World War II. And were allies of the United States in fighting fascism in Asia. We have also, this is President Lula da Silva of Brazil landing there. This is the President of Congo, the Republic of Congo, not the Democratic Republic, Congo Brazzaville, President Sassou Nguesso. And let me just read the list of other leaders who will be coming, the countries they are representing: Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Abkhazia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Burkina Faso, Venezuela, Myanmar, Palestine, Serbia, Slovakia, Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia, South Ossetia, and then India. Modi would have gone, but because of the war, he is sending a top representative. Nicaragua and South Africa also will be represented by very high-level officials from their governments. Now, let me just go to the latest exploding situation. I'm showing a map here so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. And remember, it was largely, I will say, British machinations that led to the splitting up of India, the succession of Bangladesh and Pakistan, and the promotion of a certain hardline ethnocentrism in India that led to the separation of Pakistan and Bangladesh. Well, you have a disputed region up there. You can see in sort of the northern part of India and the northeast part of Pakistan called Kashmir. The area in blue is controlled by India. The area in green is controlled by Pakistan. And what happened was 3 or 4 terrorists attacked Pahalgam, a very secluded, I think it's a shrine of some sort in a game park in the middle of the wilderness, and killed 26 tourists. Pakistan, the government denied having done this, called for an investigation. China called for an investigation. India said, no, we are going to respond. They launched a series of strikes in the last couple of days and killed what Pakistan said is a number 8 civilians, I think, and injured 55 others, and damaged a mosque. India claims they were hitting terrorists. China is offering to mediate. Russia is offering to mediate. This is a situation where both nations, Pakistan and India, have nuclear weapons. India provides a lot of water for Pakistan. That is, the river regions cross both countries, and there are dams on the side of India which can be opened or closed to affect the water flow in Pakistan. So one of these major areas has been 90% shut. That's not the entire water supply for Pakistan, but it's significant, and this is extremely dangerous. Now, if President Trump had not been getting buffeted about by poor intelligence from various of the more treasonous Americans, and Scott Ritter says that Marco Rubio is one of those. I don't know if that's true. Certainly Mike Waltz was very problematic. He was a Dick Cheney man. It's a good thing he's gone from the National Security Advisory post. Now Rubio is in that post, so I'm not sure that's good. But President Trump should have made more progress in his talks with Putin and also with Xi Jinping. If the United States, Russia, and China were on the same page, chances are this escalation between Pakistan and India would not have occurred. I would say you have to look for a British hand in this, or a billionaire club hand, the global elites who do not want to see a new paradigm of the BRICS nations. India is a major player in that, being the eye of BRICS. And this is extremely disruptive and extremely dangerous. Now, on another front, President Trump announced 2 days ago the end of the U.S. war on the Houthis in Yemen. He said, we will honor, he said that he's going to end the U.S. bombing of Yemen. He said that the Houthis don't want to fight anymore, that they claim they're going to stop attacks on American ships. And Trump wrote, they don't want to fight. We will honor that, and we will stop the bombings. We will take their word. They said they will not be blowing up ships anymore, and that was the purpose of what we've been doing. I think that's very positive. They were knocking out a lot of ships that were sailing beautifully down the various seas. Now, Houthi leaders, for their part, have said that they really weren't familiar with this truce or ceasefire. And what is being hypothesized, I don't know if it's true or not, is that the Saudis demanded that the strikes on Yemen be stopped. And think about that, because it was the Saudis that were striking Yemen before. Now it's the Saudis, who also, remember, are saying that they will only abide by a two-state solution. If they're going to have normal relations with Israel, there has to be a two-state solution. The genocide in Gaza has to be stopped. So Trump has a meeting in Saudi Arabia, and it's speculated that the Saudis were demanding that the American bombing of Yemen be stopped before President Trump went there. As I said, I can't speak to that, whether it's true or not. I'm just saying that that is the speculation. On Trump's visit, he's going to have all kinds of people along with him, including Larry Fink of BlackRock. Now, let me just say, as president of the LaRouche organization and a longtime associate of Lyndon LaRouche, we need the president to function as a leading statesman and diplomat, not a reality television star. The world depends on leadership of the United States, and the United States could play a very positive role, as I said, if we would normalize relations with Russia, we would not try to provoke a trade war with China, and we would return to the founding principles of our republic, of which we are in our 250th year since the Declaration of Independence. And what I mean by that is what John Quincy Adams said: do not seek abroad for monsters to destroy. Or as Shakespeare said, the fault lies not in our stars, not in other countries, but in ourselves, that our infrastructure is collapsing, that our standard of living has collapsed, that our children are not being educated. This was not done to us by someone from outside. This was done to us by the insane policies which many Americans have even foolishly supported, starting, I would say, with the frame up and jailing of the leading statesman and economist of the last century, Lyndon LaRouche, who bore the brunt of the apparatus that carried out the assassinations of the 60s and that later would be directed against President Trump in his first term. So we need to exonerate LaRouche, and the United States should uphold the principles of dignity and justice that our founding fathers intended, and which we should be reviving and celebrating on this 80th anniversary of the defeat of Hitler in Europe.